Okay, let's see if this is streaming live. How's everybody doing? Let me share this on Instagram, which I always forget to do, and then we'll start. Man, I've not streamed in a long time. Forgive me if I'm like a little rusty. And when I say I haven't streamed, I guess I mean I haven't um, had to talk while I was working in a while. Okay. Um, Looks like we're live. We got. I think the last time I streamed was in January, I believe. Okay. 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 Before I actually get into what I want to talk about, did want to say I think I'm going to try and live stream more. I'm aware I haven't really been live streaming much, not just on here, but my other work too. I think, and for anyone who's a recurring viewer of my live streams, if I say that a lot, then I apologize. But this time I do mean it. Hang on, let me gonna post this on Twitter and Instagram, which I always forget to do, as I said 2 minutes ago. But to get into what I want to talk about, I guess I could start by explaining a little bit why I haven't been live streaming. It's because I've been um, working on other projects primarily. Because I have a couple projects that I've been they've been taking a lot of time and energy, and that they kind of need that to start off right now. And I realize I kind of wanted to focus a little more on them. I've still been doing some diver stuff on and off, but which I don't really want to show because it's, it's a big scene. But I've been doing some diver animation on and off. But for the most part, I've been working on other stuff, including actual like actual work, and also work of my other series, which I feel like hopefully when the new episode of Guardian Instance comes out, you guys will see why it needed more attention than Diver, and I started another series, which I don't think I ever talked about on here. But I started another series called Silver Lyn, which is kind of a series that's gonna be set in the real world and kind of a smaller type of anime. I don't really think of it as a series, honestly, but I feel like I had to call it a series because just to be clear. But I just kind of look at it as a series of like different animations that kind of are following one character. But I don't really look at it as like, as like the same way I do Diver and Guardian Instance. Silver Lyn is more of like it's more, I don't know. I guess it's weird to 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 use Looney Tunes as an example, but you know how like there are a ton of different Bugs Bunny cartoons, and I wouldn't call Bugs Bunny like a series. He's just a character that different that made different kinds of sketches and things like that. And I kind of look at it that way, but at this stage, it is kind of working like a series. But the idea of it was for it to be more open ended, and I really liked the idea of doing something open ended. But yeah, so Silver Lyn is the other smaller series I've been working on, and that is on my other channel, which is which you could find like on the Diver Twitter and on my personal Twitter if you go look that up. I've been sharing it, so it's not hard to find, but it's on my other YouTube channel that's named after my name. Hang on, I'm doing all this. I'm trying to trying to post this on Instagram while I'm talking. I'm like quadruple tasking right now. Okay. But yeah, all that to say, I did want to talk about basically some issues and struggles and things I've been having. Um, Trying to, get my work out there and all that stuff. And basically because I was thinking about the struggles I've had because I thought of kind of an idea, which I did post a little bit about on Twitter. I don't know how many of you guys follow Diver and me on Twitter, but I did tweeted a couple, I guess last week or something, about how I kept thinking like when you're making a web series on your own, whether it be animation or live action or whatever, uh, I realize like what really motivates people to be consistent, which consistency is what I believe is the factor um, that keeps like audiences' attention and keeps things going, which I've clearly not been doing well at for this channel, but I feel like consistency is what keeps people invested giving them the feeling that, oh, this is something I should follow instead of something I should visit, every couple months or every year or something like that. And yet I feel like consistency is tough when you're kind of, creating on your own, because what I think keeps people motivated is the interest, is, the response and the reaction from people, and people, sharing and commenting and all that stuff. And okay, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna share this to, I guess I'll make it an Instagram story. Um, but yeah, I realize it's kind of a double-edged sword. Basically, it's a conundrum. It's it's the audience response and engagement that keeps, I think, creators and animators motivated. But you only really get that consistently if you're putting out consistent work. And so, if people are not, if you're not hearing from people a lot, and if if the sort of spread of the series kind of stops, or comes and goes, or stops, then that can, be a detriment to your motivation. It can be like, is this gonna, are people interested? Is, if I keep working on this, is it gonna be the same thing? Is people are just gonna like it when it comes out, and then kind of, and then it kind of peters out. And I see that within other people. It's not just, myself. I see that in other animators and people I follow, and that was kind of just interesting to me. And it was kind of, I was like, oh, so I see. It's kind of like this pattern of like so much effort put into like the first episode, or the first two episodes, and then once that sort of attention kind of dies down, then it feels like once the creator kind of notices the pattern of like, a lot of the work kind of not feeling like it's being seen to as many people as they wanted, and then and then they kind of lose motivation, and that but then them losing motivation is what kind of is what kills the consistency of the series, and then the consistency being waning and decreasing is what, kills the audience's interest. And I just noticed the pattern. I was like, I kept feeling like this could all be kind of helped if there was more of an outlet for web series, and specifically like animated web series. And I just kept hang on, let me post this thing. I'm really bad at talking and using social media at the same time, so hang on. Right now I'm trying to figure out how to make an Instagram story out of this. Okay. I feel like people are always surprised when I'm when they see how bad I am at social media, considering I'm tech savvy in many other ways. That I'm like, how do you do the Instagram? That's my old man voice. All right. Okay. For anyone who follows me on Instagram, make sure you see if I did this right. Actually, let me copy what I wrote on Twitter and then just paste it. Okay. sucks that you can't. I guess I think you need more followers or something, but sucks that you can't just link a link to your Instagram story and then just have people see that and then just click on it, go to the link. So I gotta say like link in bio instead of just people clicking on it. But that's fine, you know. Maybe one day I'll get there in likes or in follows. I don't know how many. I don't remember how many followers I have on Instagram. It's not a lot. I can tell you that. Okay. So I'm gonna say live streaming, diver animation. Cool. Okay. All right. Let's see. I guess I should try to work at the same time while I'm talking, so I can get something done. Okay. Let me turn the quality down on this playback. I don't know if anyone else is anyone watching or anyone stops by has seen my live streams before. I'm noticing it always takes me like 15 to 20 minutes to actually get started. I should try to cut that time down. But it's like I didn't want to share the stream like before it started, so I figured I should, wait till it started. And now I did that, and then we're 18 minutes in. But yeah, I just what I mentioned a couple minutes ago is basically just what I wanted to mention for anyone wondering, like why Diver isn't why it's taking a while, to, which is generous to have the next episode out. It's I like it's tough to admit, but it's the truth that my motivation does wane. It does weaken sometimes when I sort of feel like I don't know how to reach the amount of people that I like. And obviously I don't only do the show um, to reach a certain amount of people, and so which is why I still work on the show. I still have worked on the show after I've been like, oh, like I thought it would get more views than that. Okay, well, which I felt after episode 2, but I still which is why the next episode kind of took a bit of time, because I was kind of like, okay, well, like what should I do? What can I do to help that, while also keep creating a show. And then I felt like I started to focus on other projects, because I felt like, well, maybe I don't have to, or maybe like I could do other things in between, and I don't have to be, because Diver is it's which I didn't realize when I started it. It's a big project for me, and at least these first couple episodes, I don't think the way I have it sort of planned, I don't think that the series is gonna every episode is gonna take as much time as these first four, I guess, episodes have taken, including this special episode. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like this is kind of a hump to get over because I just really believe that the first couple episodes I wanted to be a certain way, and I wanted it to be a certain level of scale and quality and things like that. Because I think the first like your introduction to the people is I think really important. Um, and so that's kind of why I've been working on it and putting the amount of time that I felt I should. But still, it's one of those things where I didn't really count on it being as much work as it was, and it was hard after episode two because episode two was probably the hardest because I did it in such a short time. I did a lot of work in such a short time frame, and and after that was done, I kind of felt like, oh, at one in one respect, you don't, especially a web series, you don't like expect, you don't really have any expectations of what the episodes are going to do, but at the same time it was like episode two felt like oh, okay, so I was right about certain things with the first episode. I had an idea that people would like certain things, and they did, and that was cool, and that felt like, okay, that felt like a success in my book in terms of like it did better than I thought. Like, because I didn't know how it was gonna do, and I didn't know if people were gonna like it at all. I didn't know anything really because I did it. I just did what I liked, and I just felt like I really like this. This is cool, and this is kind of the exact version of this idea that I wanted to communicate to people, and so that's how I felt after the first episode. And then when it did, when it got positive reactions, I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I think I got it. I think I understand. And so after that, I just jumped head on into episode two, and I felt like oh, well, if people really like that, then they'll really like this one because I'm working really hard on this one, and I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like it would be, I guess arrogantly, I felt like it would be a bigger thing than it was, and when it wasn't, I was just like, well, not that it wasn't, it's just that it was still difficult to it was still difficult because it's still, all the episodes are they're the exact films that I wanted to make, but it's still kind of, I just assumed that, like, oh, if I make it good, if I keep working my hardest, then the audience will come. If you build it, they will come, kind of thing. And then when I realized, like, oh, it's the internet, the way it is now, it doesn't really work that way. It was just kind of like I guess it was like an eye-opening kind of experience, because I just thought, like, if I just make the best thing I can, then that people will somehow find it, which isn't the case. And so, yeah, so it was just I don't know, it was difficult, and it made me I did notice that it kind of took away some of my motivation, where I'm like, oh, I don't know, I don't really know, like, I don't really know what I'm doing in terms of, like, reaching out and trying to get views and things. Like, I know the story, and I know how to make that, I know how to make the films, but I don't know much about sharing, and because web series, at least original web series like this, and in general, are kind of, there's not really, it's not really like an outlet for them. So and I didn't really think that mattered until after episode 2, and so yeah, I was just basically it's just been tough to stay motivated after you feel like you kind of did your best. Um, and I was thinking, all this to say, I had this idea that it'd be cool to start like a kind of like a web series website, or like a, I was thinking YouTube channel, just because because that'd be easiest for me. Not that I would create it myself. I don't know. I don't know if I could or couldn't maintain that, but I was thinking it'd be cool to kind of have a some kind of series or channel or a site where it streams original animation web series live, instead of just like posting the videos. Like, it'd be cool if it was kind of like a set date and time and the day of the week, and then it just streamed kind of like Toonami style, where it might start out with episode 1 of this series, episode 1 of this series, and the first episodes of a couple different series, and then the next day, the next I guess like maybe twice a week. So second day of the week, maybe like Friday, it'll do episode 2 of each of the series, and then it'll keep going until those episodes kind of just go and repeat. Sort of like Toonami, sort of like what syndication is in TV world, and then once a new episode is out, or the series that are kind of airing each week, kind of over and over again. For me, because Diver has like 3 episodes right now. For if Diver was part of that, it'd be like it airs 1 episode a week, and then it airs the second episode a week. Then the third week it airs the last one, and then the fourth week it just kind of starts over again, and then it airs the first episode again. And the idea being that, like, because it's live, I think it would be more fun for people to kind of watch together. So the fact that the fact that you're seeing a repeat of an episode, I feel like it wouldn't matter that much, because and it wouldn't just be my series. I would, I know a couple other animators and creators that are making web content too. So it'd be like Diver, and then maybe some of my other I was gonna say colleagues, I don't know, friends who make web series too. So it'd be like, once if they have 5 episodes, once the 5 episode once the 5th week is done, then it goes back. Then the 6th week will be their first episode again, and then it'll keep going on repeat until they have a new episode. And then when the new episode is done, then it'll be if they have 5 episodes, it'll be 6 episodes now, and then maybe the new episode will have like like an event to it. Maybe it'll be like, oh, the new episode, this series is coming out now, and then it's premiering, and then maybe it can premiere like in this kind of live viewing thing, and then the person can upload it on their channel, or whatever. And then like the channel for, that's my phone, the channel for like Diver and for the respective series will still stay the same. So I'm just, in my head, I'm thinking Superhero Clock. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Superhero Clock, but it was a really cool series by a friend of mine who I've known for a while on the internet. I've known for a while on Facebook and things. I think you pronounce her name Shuke. She's named Jess the Dragoon. Her channel's named Jess the Dragoon, and she made Superhero Clock, which is really a cool series. And I was thinking about her series at the back of my head, and I was thinking, like the idea would be, if her series is in this kind of block, of different web series, and her channel is still the same, so people people can watch it live and then just click on the channel and be like, oh, I like this. I discovered this in live stream, and I like this series. What's this person? Okay, that's Jess the Dragoon. I'll go to her channel and then I'll check out the whole thing. And it's like Toonami. Like they still air Naruto. Naruto's been over since for years now, but they still air it, and people are still getting into Naruto still from Toonami. So it'd be kind of the same idea. Keelan, how's it going? um, so yeah, that's kind of the idea. To reiterate in a simpler way, the idea would be a channel. Right now, I'm thinking a YouTube channel that streams live different episodes of different web series, one after the other, kind of like a television network kind of thing. It would be like an hour maybe, because animated episodes are pretty short, so it could be like maybe 5 series. It could be my series, it could be Jess the Dragoon's series. Can you link her channel? It's Jess the Dragoon. If you type in Jess the Dragoon with two O's, two O's, then it'll come up. If not, then I can link it. And her series is called Superhero Clock. But yeah, so it'd be like that. That's the idea. And again, I don't know if I if I can or if I even could maintain this on my own. So I don't know, if I could be the one to create it or maintain it. But it was just like, it was an idea I had because I was thinking, I think what web series and web content is missing is, I think, the sort of communal aspect of it, because like anime, I think anime is as popular as it is because of things like Toonami, where people watched DBZ together when they were kids, because it was on TV, and now people are watching, together, and there's a conversation, there's a community behind it, and I think that is lacking in in web series, because it's all just kind of YouTube videos, and you might like comment, sure, but like the other comments might be from 3 years ago, and it's not really like you can't really have like there's not a place to have like a present or live conversation really with anyone about it. And I think that is, oh, excuse me, I just burped, but I think that's part of the reason why there's not as much of an audience for web series or original web series, because there's not really a place to have that dialogue outside of I feel like a comment section isn't really the same thing, and I feel like if it was live, then people can have that dialogue and have whether it's positive or negative, and they could and I think for me, like I was thinking, for me, I'd check this out even if I already saw the episode, because I'd be like, oh, maybe you can see new people in the chat this time when you're watching, like if one airing is on like Wednesday and the other one's on Friday, it could be like, well, I saw this episode last week, but this time it'll be a different group of people watching it live, and so then you could be like, oh, because I mean, I would enjoy that. I don't know about you guys, but that would be fun for me to be like, to watch the different series with different groups of people, and I think it would add to the sort of communal aspect of watching series like this, and yeah, I think I don't know, I think it's a cool idea. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not sure how to do it, at least on my own. But yeah, I was thinking of of maybe asking Just a Dragoon, and there's a guy I know named Adam. He does a series called Shattered Heaven. Those are two people I've known who've been doing this sort of web animation thing about as long as I've been doing it. And back then I was like, oh, okay, so they're doing it too. So and 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 I can see that, like, I see the audience for it. You know what I mean? It's like I can see that there are people, and I've seen it with my stuff too. Not to pat myself on the back, but I've seen, you guys have been positive, and I've gotten emails from people, and a lot of there's been a lot of it's been a lot of cool back and forth I've had of people who have genuinely, like, liked it and wanted to see more, and I'm like, that's awesome. So that means we're, people creating, not just myself, but people creating this stuff. We're onto something. You know what I mean? Clearly, or because with Dead Star, it was hard to know that, because it was like it, it the series, the reactions was varying, because I was still kind of figuring out the animation and the storytelling and all that stuff, and it was hard to kind of get a grasp of, like maybe this is terrible. I'm enjoying it, but maybe this is secretly bad, and people who like it are just nice. It was hard to know for the first couple of years, and then I kind of got. I think I got better over time with Dead Star, and I think it ended up. I really liked the note that ended on, which is why I felt cool walking away. And for anyone who doesn't know, Dead Star is a series that I did before this. This first series that I ever did, and so yeah. So with Dead Star, it was difficult to know, because I'm like, because it had mixed reactions for the first couple years, so it was hard to know if, like, but it's like, am I just crazy because I feel like there's an audience for this, but maybe I'm just not doing it right. But now I feel pretty confident in that. I think if a lot of these series, mine included, were presented in a interesting way to fans, to animation fans, and people who want to watch something cool, then I think it would be, it could build an audience. And right now it's just kind of impossible, because there's not really, like, one solid or consistent outlet for original web content, consistent specifically original animation content too. But I mean, there are definitely streaming service. I was submitting to Blip. Blip was like this. Blip TV was like this streaming service that was around when I started Death Star. It has since, I think, um, it has since discontinued, but and I think the site's not doesn't exist anymore. But, like, there was that. There's some. I'm blanking on the name, but there's another one that's out, but it's more, it's kind of all web content. It's not just animation, and I think to do one that's just animation, I feel like people would like, especially if it's, like, growing up with Toonami. I'm like, if we could make something that makes people kind of, feel like I did when I was a kid watching Toonami, then I think, we could be on to something. But I don't know. What do you guys think? That's my spiel, basically, because all this that came from the fact that I just think that it's tough for animators out there, including myself, to be consistent while to, while not having a consistent kind of reaction from the audience, because it's kind of like, was without, these aren't made with, like, a lot with money. For me, it's no money, and for other people, maybe they, use some money. I don't know, but there's no budget. None of my series have ever had a budget, so it's like, it's not like you could. It's not like you're getting monetary return or anything. So the only return that really is the motivating factor, until maybe you do get monetary return is the sort of audience, the feedback, and for series like Jess the Dragoon, um, and Adam, I forget, I'm blanking on his last name, but the guy, he created a series called Shattered Heaven. Um, for him, and like they've had, and also Christine Chong, who started she started a site called, I think you pronounce it Altebe. I'm gonna just type it in the chat. Altebe. I've never said it out loud. I've seen it for years, uh, but I've never said it out loud. But yeah, she has a site too where she creates. I don't know if she creates web animation, but I think she does animation sometimes. But it's more like manga and visual novel stuff. But yeah, I've known her as well for a while, and we've collaborated on certain things, and these are people who have who I see have gotten an audience, and have people who have had positive reactions, for the people who found it. And so to me, it feels like, oh, it's the audience is there for it because I can see the positive reaction. So now I just think we need a place. Keelan says, yeah, I remember you tweeting about it. Yeah, I tweeted about it, I think, last week, for anyone wondering. If there was a service, it'd be freaking awesome. Like an almost Netflix. Yeah, exactly. Um, the thing is, I was thinking for myself, I'd probably try to make a YouTube channel just because I'm not tech savvy in terms of creating websites. Which is why I have this idea, but I have no idea how I would create it or maintain it. Because because to have a website, you have to pay. But then again, it's like the thing about the idea is that it it'd only be streaming it live. I think that would be the best thing for it. I think it would work best if it was just streaming it live, and then if people wanted to watch it again, they could just go to, it'd be like Netflix, but when you click on the show or the movie, it just goes to that movie's website, or that YouTube, or in this case it'd be YouTube channel. So for example, if Diver's on there, you'd watch it live with the other series at the allotted time, and then after that's over, then if you want to watch it again, you just go, subscribe to me, or go to my channel to watch the episode again. And because I think it need to be something new. It couldn't just be because there's web series streaming sites and things where you just click on the video, and then it's the same thing where it's oh, you just comment and share and all that stuff, where it's just a video streaming site. Whereas it'd be more fun for the audience if it was something you had to kind of be there to watch together, instead of the thing that we all do every day, which is stream something, just stream the video on HBO Max or Netflix, or whatever, and then tweet about it later or something. I think, and I noticed this by I'm a fan of certain YouTube channels, and I noticed this by just watching live streams of things. And YouTube has a cool thing called Premiere now, where you could premiere it, and then people could watch it together. And I just noticed that that kind of way of experiencing content is more fun. It's just that's what we that's kind of that's what we enjoy. We enjoy kind of experiencing it together. I know with many domains it's more expensive to give the website the ability to handle. Yeah. So the expense can depend on how many visitors. Yeah. That's true, but also I think it'd be. I mean, the videos wouldn't be on the site, so I guess like it wouldn't be. I don't know how that works in terms of bandwidth, because I know bandwidth is a lot if you have like a lot of video content, but I'm not sure how it would be because because it's like because there wouldn't be any videos on the site. It'd be just like the live stream, and then if you want to watch the video again, then you go to it'd be just like links to the person's website or social media or YouTube channel or whatever. So it wouldn't actually be holding any real content unless, but I don't know how much it'd be to actually stream like high quality video. So I don't know. That's why I'm thinking it'd be fun to just start this out as a YouTube thing, because then as a YouTube channel you could just stream, you could just stream a series of videos every, I was thinking Wednesdays and Fridays. I don't know, it's kind of a random date time, but like maybe twice, three or twice a week, and and that way it's like because the once a week I don't think that would work, but maybe a couple times a week I think would be kind of a cool idea. Um, but yeah, that's my idea basically. Um, and if I were to do it, it'd probably be honestly it'd be hard enough to like compile the videos into a to compile like an hour of videos into one long hour-long video. That'd be difficult for me, but I could do that. And then just like maybe we could just use the Premiere function that YouTube has, and then just like premiere it. Like, and then it could be like a set time every. It could be like I don't know, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays or something. Um, or maybe it could be actually maybe Saturdays. Maybe it could be like Wednesdays and Saturdays, because Saturdays and Sundays are good because people are off work and they're more free. I don't know, but yeah, that's basically my idea. And I think just in the future, for the future of doing this, I think we need something like that. Not just me, it's like yeah, I'd selfishly absolutely love something where my work can reach more people, but it's also like I think not even just the people who already do it. I think it could be very kind of the same way that Toonami kind of made me want to in some ways be an animator, because I saw Dragon Ball Z and Gundam Wing I didn't watch Bleach on Toonami, but it was on Toonami while I was getting into it. But that was kind of my introduction to anime, was Toonami, and watching Dragon Ball Z as a kid, and then having that kind of imprinted in my brain, that experience, and then growing up and being like, it'd be cool to make my own anime, and so I think it could be a cool like motivator. I think for animators out there who are like, because I guarantee you there's animators out there who are thinking, because I've thought this, who are thinking like yeah, it'd be cool to do an original thing, but like there's not an audience for it. It ended up being just a lot of work and not a lot of return, and all that, and I think if people can see like the return, and they can see that there's an audience for it, they'd be like, okay, well, I wanted to do it before, but now I see that there's an audience. I'll give it a shot, and I think it would be a good kind of motivator for a lot of people who do have original ideas and content, who don't see a place to like put that stuff, because there isn't really a big outlet for original content in the way that the internet is right now. It's very much it's almost like incentivizing to kind of just like just settle for like making something that's based on some famous IP or something. It'll be easier, or do something that's based on a popular video game, or have a do something that's do something original that's depicting something that already has a big audience, like like the way Red vs. Blue was, and isn't there like a Minecraft like web series or something? I'm one of like the two people in the world that doesn't know anything about Minecraft, but I know what it looks like. I know that I've seen characters in Minecraft form that are speaking before, so I was like, oh, so someone made like a Minecraft web series or something. But but yeah, Minecraft was just that was just ahead of my. It was like the time window where I was into video games and all that stuff like ended, I think, right when Minecraft was like becoming a big thing. But I mean, I'm still into video games, but not as much. Obviously, it was when I was like 17 or 18. Um, but I actually just beat last year. I beat Devil May Cry 5, which was really, really, really good. As a long time Capcom and Devil May Cry fan, I was like, I was really surprised that they actually made like what might be the best Devil May Cry game. Anyway, yeah, that's my idea, and just my general thoughts on sort of the state of making this kind of content. Because it's it's complicated. Sir Cutie Yuki. That's an amazing username. Okay, so that's a Minecraft story series. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. I'm sure there's many, but I saw one once where had like 1 million views like every video. I was like, wow, and I never heard about it. It's kind of the weird thing about YouTube too, where series now can like have you could have like a huge, crazy kind of following, and it could be still be kind of like a niche thing. Because that happens to me all the time, where like I'll see somebody who has like millions of subscribers and views, and I'm like, I've never heard of this person. I didn't even know what they were doing was a thing that people liked, and yet there's whole like subcultures now. Whereas for those of you who remember when like YouTube first started, it was like having like 1 million views was like, oh, there's like two people or 10 people who had like 1 million subscribers, and that was like a crazy thing. Now it's like you could have 1 million subscribers just you know I don't know cutting down trees or something. I don't know, just anything, just and like it'll be news to me. But yeah, those are those are my thoughts. Now I'll actually get some work done now. So this is a character called Margot, who's a new character in episode 3, and it's actually a new race that's going to be introduced, new alien race. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. And if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know, or comments or whatever. I really have not done this in a long time. I think the last time I did a live stream was January, and even then, it was like months after I had done my last one. But it's good for it's good for my my it's good for me to stay on track to do web series and things. I mean to do live streams of my web series. That way it's like that way I don't, slack off. Okay, so he's gonna take this off. So let's make his hand here. The one thing is about going back to the sort of web series YouTube channel thing I have in mind. I don't know what it'd be called. So if anybody has any suggestions on like what it'd be called. I think the only issue, or not issue, but the only thing nice one, Keelan. Good job. Rare form, nice. Um, but but the only issue, I guess, would be how to reach people with the website too, because that would probably be the hardest part. I guess like I don't know if maybe we could make like a trailer for it or something. And plus, I think the idea behind it, I think I mentioned it on Twitter. For those of you who saw my tweets, then I'm just kind of reiterating what I said. But I think an interesting idea behind kind of the selection process I had would be that would be that only kind of the best ones that get submitted can be, because it couldn't be it's funny because I think Newgrounds right now, when I was tweeting this stream out, I saw that Newgrounds is trending right now, and I liked Newgrounds when I was starting out, and I remember episode 3 of Dead Star did like really really well on Newgrounds. And it's funny because I was always, that was never really, I mean, I love all the episodes, they're all my children, but it was never like an episode I thought was like my best or whatever. And the first 2 episodes didn't do great on Newgrounds. Then I uploaded the 3rd one and it did like amazing, and I was like, oh wow, really? It got like amazing. I mean, amazing for me. It got like I think 13,000 views or something like that in like a week. I was like, wow, and that's way more views than it has on YouTube. And then I was like, oh my god, this is the next episode, because this is way after I had finished the first season of Dead Star. this was like I was like years into it, so all the first like 6 episodes had been done for a while. Um, and so I was like, oh my god, when I post the fourth episode, it's gonna go crazy, and then it totally didn't. I was like, and people were like, and I was like, okay, well, like I was wrong, but the thing that I think that would separate it from Newgrounds, I think would be that it doesn't, just accept kind of any video, any kind of series, which might be kind of a conundrum in a situation, because people might think like, oh, it's not fair that this series got accepted and my series didn't get accepted. But I felt like it should be uh, the best, and maybe it's not just like the people who created the site that get to vote on it. Maybe it's the audience too. Maybe they get to vote on which of the new submissions gets aired, on the live stream. Um, but I like the idea that it'd be kind of the way like Shonen Jump works, where like the Shonen manga, it's like the ones that are rated the highest that kind of get to air, and something like that. Would it be kind of unfair that uh, that the thing about it would be kind of unfair that maybe that the people who created the site get to just have theirs on without anyone having to vote it. But I don't think I don't think that'd be a big deal. Plus, I think our series are pretty good, at least for the people who are starting out in it. So I don't know if I don't know how much complaints that we get, but yeah, that would be the idea behind it. The idea would be that anyone can submit their series, and I'd assume that like the rule would be that like you'd have to have at least 3 episodes or something like that, or maybe 2 episodes. No, I think three. You'd have to have probably a minimum 3 episodes, and I think because that would turn it, because that would prevent it from being just like a series of short films that are really good but aren't really a series. Because if somebody just creates a good short film, they go, yeah, it's a series, it's gonna be a series, and then it gets accepted, and then the next episodes are never posted. It'd just be like a series of short films and things like that. So I think it'd have to be at least a few episodes to start. Um, and then as the person creates more episodes, then that their new episode will be added to the kind of airing of the other series. You could have your own series featured. Yeah. I think instead of feature, I don't know. I think maybe I don't know. I don't know if there would be a featured category. I think all of it should be kind of featured on the same kind of level. Um, because I don't think there should be like a hierarchy. You know what I mean? Because I think the idea should be that all of them are kind of aired in one clump. But I did like the idea that like maybe like there's the regular series that air on like on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays or something, and then like maybe Sunday there's like 5 new series that are submitted by anybody who submitted, and anyone who sort of submits, I think, gets a chance of having their series like voted as a part of the main programming or something. But it's like whoever has the most votes and whoever people deem has the best series out of these submissions, they and maybe it could be like monthly submissions or something like that. And then it's like maybe those people are. I think that would maybe like the winner then gets to have their series streamed with everyone else's. But I guess like the new and I'm just this is like mostly me brainstorming most of, and it's partly me having come up with beforehand. Just thinking for my series of mine. Yeah, yeah, totally. That's the thing is like I think something like this would, and I mean, if you're creating a series, you could speak to this too. Is like, yeah, I think it would motivate and kind of inspire people to be like, oh, okay, then maybe I'll work even harder on my, I won't lose motivation in it because I know that there's a place that's showing, that's actually showing web series and original content. So I think that'd be inspire a lot of different animators out there. It would definitely would. I'm speaking from my experience too. It definitely would if I saw that. The same way that I think Webtoon. I'm not really that familiar with Webtoon, but I think Webtoon is basically this, but for like web comics, right? I mean, I don't know how many people here know Webtoon, but I think that's what Webtoon is, just for comics. Would there be a minimum length? Probably. Actually, I don't think so. No. I mean, if someone's able to create like a 20 minute, three 20 minute animated series, then I think they definitely deserve to to be a part of it, to be a part of what it what it would be. I mean, because that's if they're able to do that consistently too. I you know that'd be amazing. But that's a good question though. Yeah. So in terms of like a winner, the idea would be like the idea would be that like the people submitting new series, they would be part of like a, I guess, a competition kind of thing, or like a voting system kind of thing, and whoever the winner would be in that competition would have their series aired with the others, with in this situation, in this scenario, it'd be Diver and Superhero Clock and probably Shattered Heaven and uh, other series that you know that are that I've seen that are good. I mean, this is just coming from somebody who would be the person. Like, I'm not sure if I'd be the person to make it, but if I was, then that's what I would do. And so it'd be like, if you win, if you get the most votes, and it wouldn't just be votes. It would be it'd be the web series version of an electoral college, I guess. It'd be like maybe me and the other people who have their series airing already. Maybe they vote, or maybe there's like judges, who have the ultimate say. Um, because like if you just do fan votes, people could like vote something in as a joke, and then it could just be like this really bad series or something, or really raunchy or something, or really crazy thing, and then people could vote it in as a joke, and then it's the point of it would kind of kind of lose meaning. So maybe it wouldn't be fan votes. Maybe it'd just be like a series of judges. That's how we got Bodie. Never heard of it, but I can imagine Bodie McBoatface is a ridiculous series. Bad Rats. I've never heard of that either. For some reason, my brain computed that as Lab Rats, and I'm like, I've never. I think Lab Rats was after my time. In other words, I'm too old to have seen that, but I heard that's a popular like Disney Channel show. But yeah, I think that I mean that's the thing that would make it that would make it that's the thing that would make it different from Newgrounds, because that's kind of what Newgrounds has become, for better or worse. You know, there's nothing wrong with a site that just lets anyone upload anything. I've definitely uploaded my work there a couple times, so it's like, you know, Newgrounds is a cool site, but it's like I think this would need to be something else. You know, this would need to be something that's more focused. Because the thing about Newgrounds is like I remember going to it just feeling kind of like overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know what like what are like, you know, the best videos here. I don't know. It's just, it's so much content. It's just so much kind of like, you know, things that got a lot of views by being super ridiculous and crazy. And I'm like, okay, like, are there like what got a lot of views for being like really good though, you know? And so that was kind of the kind of oversaturated nature of Newgrounds. It kind of alienated me as like as an animation fan. You know, I was like, is this, you know, like some of these are amazing, and then some of them are just kind of silly and you know, just about something really popular that just got a lot of clicks. And so it's kind of like, you know, I would want to avoid like a big mix of just, you know, things of varying quality. What happens when you leave naming an actual boat up to public voting? Right. I think I heard of that. Um, I thought you were talking about like a series. I think that was like somebody's actual boat, right? Um, it's a notoriously bad quality game, which people ironically bought and gifted to their friends. Oh, really? Yeah, like I'd like to avoid, you know, the irony of the internet as much as not that, you know, sometimes it's really funny, but sometimes it's like, okay, man, what are we doing here? But yeah, I think I'd want to, you know, create something that kind of celebrates like and kind of rewards like, you know, high quality storytelling in this kind of medium, which I think is being done, you know, and I've seen there's a lot of, and not even that, just I feel like there's just a lot of good shows out there that a lot of people would like. Hang on, let me say this, but what do you guys think in terms of a YouTube channel rather than a website? Like, at least to start out, maybe eventually it could turn into a website, but I think a YouTube channel, especially now that YouTube has like a premiere function, I think a YouTube channel might be ideal. And then we could like, it could just premiere, you know, the slot of different, you know, web series. It would be maybe 4 or 5 web series in one slot and one episode of each. Then it could be maybe like 30 minutes to an hour or something, and then and then it's taken off. Then it's not like the live stream isn't able to to be like replayed. I think that would kind of defeat the purpose. You know, it'd be like TV. You know, start out small, get attention to crowdfund. Yeah, maybe. That's the thing. Is like the difficult thing is I don't know how I could if I could maintain this by myself while also creating and making films. But I could try, and then I could hand it off to somebody else if it gets like bigger than I can do on my own. And plus, like I do know people who could do this too. So like I feel like I could. Uh, I feel like they could kind of trust in me because I know them, with, and they know that I make the same thing, and that they could. Whereas somebody else, they might, uh, not trust them to share their. Someone might not trust them to share their series, and I think um, yeah, I mean that you can get. Yeah, that's true. Um, it might not be advised. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't think it would just be me. It wouldn't just be like my site. You know what I mean? My YouTube channel. Like, I think whoever has. That's the thing is like it wouldn't. I don't think that would work if it was just if I was just in charge of everyone's thing. I think it should be whoever has a series. Because trust me, I don't want to create a a new YouTube channel. I did want to do the new series I did, but I was like, I have to use my old one. But like I'm the last person who wants to create another YouTube channel. I have like 4 or 5 or something between Karya, Diver, Dead Star, uh, and I think I have 4. So yeah, I don't want to create a new YouTube channel, but I think the idea would be it would be a shared thing, like with the other people whose web series uh, are in the block in the slot. I'm calling it a slot, I guess. The airing, the airtime, and I guess it wouldn't. I don't think it would work if it was monetized. I think whatever money that we would get would come from anyone who wants to submit to our Patreons or watch our YouTube channels. I think it would work as like as a monetized thing, and because then it would be like one person making money off of other people's things, and then to prevent that it had to be split up into we'd split them. It would just be like this would just won't be monetized. We'll just have it be like a non-profit thing, and then whatever profit you get would be how you impact somebody with your series during the slot. Like if somebody watches Diver and they like it during the slot, then they can go and if they want to support me, they can submit to support my Patreon or something like that. By the way, I have a Patreon for anyone watching this. Could use any support that you're willing to give. Still making it regardless, but definitely helps. But yeah, it would be. I think that it couldn't be. I'm a bit YouTube illiterate. I'm kind of the same way. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not very savvy either. Yeah, I think it would have to work where like it's run by. I mean, it's at least partly. I mean, not run, but like there's an admin. There's different admins for the different people. But hang on. Okay, sorry about that. Um, But yeah, that's I think that'd be awesome if it worked out. Yeah, I think it's a pretty. I mean, I think it's a pretty cool idea. You know, I'm not. I've had many times where I thought something was a cool idea and I tried it and then it didn't work out. So you know, I'm taking everything with a grain of salt. But I think it'll work, and I think with proper advertisement of it, which would probably be the hardest part because but I think if everyone who has, if all the creators whose web series are part of it, shared it on their sites and tweeted about it and stuff, I think if there's a cool trailer. I'm not the best at editing trailers, but maybe I could edit one or get somebody to edit one. You remember, like, I don't know how many of you guys watched Toonami, but Toonami had some like crazy trailers back in the day. It would like get you hyped up, like, oh yeah, like I gotta watch Outlaw Star like right now. Uh, so that'd be cool. I think a cool trailer would help. So yeah, I think it's a cool idea. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing though. That's very nice, Keelan. But like, it takes me a long time because I really don't like editing trailers. So like, it takes me a long time to to like the trailer for Diver, which turned out I really liked the way it turned out, but it took like on and off. Like I would just come back to it like a month. I would do a little bit, and I'm like, I don't feel like gathering all this footage. And then like weeks would go by. I'm like, I should make a trailer. I should finish that. And then like I do a little bit more. So I'm just like, I just don't like editing a lot of footage together, especially for my stuff because it's like you have to pull from my whole archive of footage, and I don't know. But maybe it'd be different with series that are finished. How do you manage the music and sound design? Music, I just use music that I like, and music that's free to use. Sound design is a whole other thing. I'm a kind of a sound design kind of nerd, so I just over time I just picked up on different things I like to do and things that that sound like were sounds that have like weight to me, and when to use music, when not to use it. And so that's a whole sound design is like a whole thing where like every scene is like a different challenge. But I'm a sound design nerd. I will say that. Where I feel like I was thinking this the other day because I was watching this documentary about Foley, which Foley, for those of you don't know, it's sound effects. Basically, any sound effect that isn't like a music, or an action or something like that. So it'd be like footsteps, or if I'm sitting down in the chair, if a character's sitting down in a chair, it's doing this sound. Like that. I don't know if you could hear that, but that's Foley basically. And I was thinking, like, if this animation thing doesn't work out, I genuinely think I would love to be a Foley artist because I just love that. I love doing that. I love finding like the right sound for things, and that was really really fun on the first episode of Diver, figuring out like the sound of everything. So that's like, to me, that's like, if none of this works out, I'd love to just do that. Just like sit in like a studio with like a bunch of stuff, and then just, oh, the character's running in this movie. Let's do footsteps. Oh, the character's moving around. Like let's move some leather, in the mic, and that to me is like it's so fun, and I think it's one of those things where like people don't realize uh, how much that makes a scene in terms of like the audio of it. I think people don't think about that. It's one of those things that like when it's done right, it just subconsciously makes a scene better, and nobody thinks about, oh, it's the sound effect of this that made. And to me, that's why I really like it, because it's like it's 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 like playing with your kind of like subconscious, or your like how you're kind of mentally understanding a scene. Because there's times where and I'm not don't mean to go on a fully tangent, but there are times where like where a sound can match perfectly with an animation. It could, and the sound could have nothing to do with like what's happening in in terms of an example would be having showing someone being choked or something like that, like choked aggressively, and then you could put in the sound, any sound with like hands doing something aggressively. You could put in like leather sounds, like pulling leather or something like that, and it could have this like sound that feels like something's being something's being manhandled or whatever. And it's like it's like in the movie you're just like, oh my god, that's horrible, he's being, but in reality it's like you're hearing a sound that's completely, that has nothing to do with the way skin actually sounds when it's like being touched, or because this is how that's how skin actually sounds. But if you put in like a sound that kind of works with the story of the thing, then it could kind of have this crazy effect on your brain where you're like, oh my god, it's so terrible. He's being he's being choked so hard. I can hear it in the sound, but really in reality, it does not sound realistic at all. So yeah, it's one of those things where I really love it. I had to create Foley for an assignment. Oh, nice. Apparently, a popular way to do the crackling of fire is just, oh, that's funny. It's crackling a plastic cup. That's really funny. Yeah, that is pretty similar to crackling fire, actually. Slapping a cantaloupe in front of him. I mean, you'd be surprised on what kind of like punch, on how you get like how movies get like that punch and slap effect. Because like a real slap doesn't necessarily, especially depending on the movie. Like if it's an Indiana Jones movie, a real punch doesn't really have the same kind of like effect, and like a fun kind of like pulpy action movie like Indiana Jones. So like when you hear that like loud like smack when Indiana Jones punches people, it has like a, it fits the story more than like actual, because the actual punch just sounds like it sounds just like hitting like fists together or hitting a bone. And like a PG movie, that could, having that over and over again could kind of be a little too much. uh, and so that's kind of interesting too, like the different sounds for like violence, and depending on the rating of the movie, because like somebody getting cut in like a G movie or a PG movie could sound totally uh, could sound way less violent than somebody getting the same cut in like a rated R movie or something, where blood gushes or something. And uh and so yeah, it's a whole, Foley is a whole thing. It's just like one of those things that I really like about movies, even though I don't really doing it is kind of tedious sometimes, especially when there's a lot of it. It can be tedious. I remember the first episode of Diver where Zara is running into her pod. There's so many different sounds there. It's really cool, like after the fact, but it was really hard to like, because there's so many different sounds happening between like her footsteps having to kind of fade in because she's far away. So to have the footsteps be lower volume, and increase the volume as she gets closer to the camera, and then the sound of her stepping inside of her pod had to be a certain sound. Then the sound of her sitting had to be like, I wanted to really like feel the weight of like the animation there. And so that was one of those things where I'm like, it's so cool to look at afterward, but it was really difficult. Oh hey, Thorn, how's it going? All is well. All is good. I only did animation before. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I don't know how many of you guys have ever seen. I think the movie's called Three Idiots. Um, it's a really good movie, but there's like the song in it called "All Is Well." And every time I see the words "All Is Well," I always think of that song. But but yeah, it's like sound design is one of the, to me. I think it's like the secret weapon, the secret sauce of animation. Because like for anyone who does animation, you know that like you're working 99% of the time in like a vacuum of you're creating the illusion of like weight and things that are that are meant to look realistic, and it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't, like it's you can get kind of lost until you hear like the sound of something, like, oh, okay. There's so many times where like I make something and then and then and then I'm like, is that good? And then I can hear the sound of it. I'm like, oh man, that really works. Uh, it's like one of those things where sometimes the sound has like saved certain scenes for me too, where I'm like, this scene, I didn't really like it, and then I added sound to it. I'm like, oh, that makes it so much better. But yeah, it's one of those things where it to me it's the the secret sauce of how animation really works, and it really impacts people. Uh, Instagram versus reality angles. What does that mean? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I went on a whole sound tangent now, but yeah, I think back to the web series idea. I think I will try to start a YouTube channel, at least to start it. I don't know though. I'm still kind of thinking of what I want to do, because I don't know if I even want to be the one to start it or and maintain it. Like Keelan mentioned, I have other uh, you know, I have so many YouTube channels already, and so many, and not just the YouTube channels, but the series, and juggling all of them itself is already, it's already takes up most of my free time. So it's like I don't know how much of that I want to really spend. Because if I'm starting it, I'd have to be editing all the video together. It would be really helpful if there was somebody else to like to edit all of it together. Episode one of Diver, episode one of something else, episode one of something else, and then the next, that'll be like maybe 40 minutes to a half hour, and then the next um, video would be like episode two of such and such, episode two of such and such, um, and editing that. I mean, it wouldn't be hard. It's just that like exporting long videos for me just takes a lot of time. Um, if I want to do it in the right quality, and my computer isn't powerful by any means. Um, like to do that, I feel like you would need a lot of gigabytes, and I think I would need a different computer. But I mean, I guess it wouldn't be too hard because I wouldn't be adding. The thing is, like, the first couple blocks of it, or slots of the groups of the web series, like, the first three episodes of Diver, the first like five episodes of somebody else's series, the first, whatever, four episodes of something else. Like, to start out with, I think I could do that, but oh, right. You mean like looking at animation without the sound effects? You mean? or vice versa, or looking at it, with sound effects and being like, and then looking at it, on its own and be like, whoa. Uh, yeah, no, totally. But yeah, it's one of those things and for anyone who's coming in now, I might be ending this soon, sometime before the 2 hour mark. I don't want to go on too long. Uh, but for anyone coming in now, I had the idea of having a website, or in a practical case, a YouTube channel, and that streams live groups of different web series together. So it'd be like Toonami style airing, basically, where one episode of something, one episode of another series, and maybe one episode of four or five different series, and stream together, maybe across like 30 to 40 minutes, and people can kind of watch it together, and as opposed to just watching a bunch of different videos, like a Netflix thing. It'd be basically like Netflix, but if it was live, if it if it streamed like an episode of Daredevil, then an episode of House of Cards, and Orange Is the New Black, and those are the only Netflix things I know, because I have up to date on a lot of TV. But that's the idea of it, and it'd be like an example. I'm not really sure if how many of my series I would include, because I don't want to show too much favoritism to my own stuff, and just have it be. Actually, the idea started where I was just thinking about streaming my own work. That was like how the idea started. It was like, oh, maybe one episode of Dead Star, and then maybe an episode of Diver, and then which I'm very lucky to have got to this point now that I have multiple series. But that was the first idea, and then I thought about doing a Toonami thing, just because I think live. And I'm just reiterating this for anyone who came in after the fact, because I've been talking about this for like an hour, but I think live, experiencing it live, I think adds a kind of communal aspect to web series that I don't think exists right now. Whereas I think the problem, not problem, but it's something that anime community and television community has, that web series don't have right now, is the sort of dialogue that happens, where people like see an episode of, Cobra Kai or something, and then they go to Reddit, to go to the Reddit, Cobra Kai, and then talk about it, and I don't think that exists at the moment, and I think it could. That's kind of the idea, and I think if it was able to, get a big enough audience, I think that it could be a cool incentive for independent animators to be like, oh, cool, there's a place where we could submit our own original ideas to now, and so maybe I'll start working on my own original idea and see if it works, as opposed to now, which I feel like even I've made web series now, and I even think sometimes I'm like, is this worth doing? Because it's not really a place to where people could watch it, and so I can only imagine what animator just starting out is thinking, looking at kind of the what do you call it, the nature of the way social media is now and the internet, and seeing how it really is catered to popular IP and hashtags and things that already have a conversation to it. Like, so many people would probably think like, oh, well, I'd rather start like a fan Marvel series than to do my own idea, because at least the Marvel thing, because people are always talking about Marvel and comic books nowadays, so maybe that'll get more attention, and then from that I can maybe get an audience for my own things, and I think I just think that's, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem like, especially having the experiences I've had, and I've seen other people had, where I do hear from you guys, and I hear from people who email and message me about like the fact that they like what I've done, at least with Diver, and Dead Star and other things, and they're like, oh, this is really cool, and just very nice comments. I'm like, oh, so there is. To me, it just proves, that there is an audience for this, if and not just mine, but like other people who are making uh, things that I think my work is pretty good. It'd be silly to be falsely humble and think that oh my it's trash. No, I work hard, so I think that I think I've made some quality work. Whether it's everyone's thing or not, totally fair. But I think it's I think that they're I think that I've worked really hard to make some work that I am proud of, and I think that it's one of those things where when I hear back from people, I'm like, okay, good. I was, I'm not crazy thinking that, that this was a cool idea or something. And so that's kind of it. Just kind of made me think that, oh, okay, since there's an audience out there that doesn't have a place to really watch it together to have that kind of experience, then maybe that needs to be created in some way. And and it's like I don't know who else could do it. And so I've just been thinking like, well, maybe I'll just do it. Like you know maybe I'll just create some. And plus, like I mentioned before, like I've over the years I've met different creators and animators online who are doing something similar and who are making cool stuff too. So it's like it's like I see that there's an audience for it, and there's just not a place for the audience to watch. And I guess you could say the same thing happened with anime back in like the '90s, where it's like anime had like a niche audience before like Toonami and before it became what it is now, and before like Naruto got got on like the Disney Channel, and before I mean I don't really consider Pokemon anime, but it is before like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh got on. I forget what channel they were on. I used to watch both though. I forget. I don't know what the channel would be now, but I think before it was Channel 7. I don't remember what the channel was called, but like those kind of things, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. The Sadly, they destroyed the English version of One Piece, the 4 Kids dub of One Piece. One Piece is one of my favorite animes, but it got the English version was presented really really badly in that format. But still, it's like Funimation though does a really good One Piece dub though for any One Piece fans. But yeah, it's like that sort of English, the English translation of these shows and having them on TV is what made anime as popular as it is now. Before it was like, it was, there was amazing anime that was just kind of a niche thing where it's like, there was Ninja Scroll, there was like Akira, there was like Miyazaki films that were just kind of like, they were just kind of like quote unquote like nerd, uh, uh, content, and yet it had like better storytelling than like a lot of non quote unquote nerd content. But yeah, it's like now it's become a thing because there's English adaptations. There was Toonami. There was different venues that created it, and basically just to say that there wasn't an audience. There was content that people would have really liked if it was presented in the right way. And Toonami, things like that, things like Pokemon being dubbed and things like that on TV, presented, uh, content that people. It turns out people really liked Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z and all these things, and we would have never been introduced. I would have had zero idea what anime was as a kid if they didn't like present it to me in a cool way like Toonami, and in a place that people are already watching. Back where Shane's for, yeah. I used to draw Goku back in like I think it was fifth grade, and yeah, that was even though like I had friends though who liked Dragon Ball Z, but I never had like that classic like what are you doing you nerd and like somebody takes my drawing of Goku and like this is what losers like and then he throws the paper. I never had anything that dramatic. um, I definitely had like friends and female friends. I remember one of my good female friends when I made Dead Star. She was like joking, but like she was like, "Oh my god, you're making like anime or whatever." She was joking, but but things like, uh, I've had like funny things more so than anything serious. But yeah, I never I never had anything dramatic like that. But it definitely happened, just not to me. But yeah, I think there's an audience for it, and I think it sucks that like the creators might have to be the ones to create their own venue for it, but that might be what we have to do. So yeah, so those are my thoughts. Uh, Overall, and how I'll go about that. I'm not sure, but I think it'd be worth the effort. At least trying, and then we could see how it goes. I think to start out, I think maybe I'll contact some of my friends who've made web series and who have cool web series out there that people I think would like, and then we'll see. But yeah, that was basically I did barely got any work done doing this, but at least I got my thoughts out there. I guess I'll finish this later. But who knows? Maybe we'll create our own online web version of Toonami, and then maybe we'll start our own thing. But if not, you know, uh, maybe something else will come about. Maybe somebody will create a website or something like that. So we'll see. But yeah, that about does it for this stream. I wanted to get it under. I it would have been nice to get it under an hour, but maybe getting under 2 hours is just as good. Because I tend to ramble, so I apologize if things get reiterated and stretched longer than they should. But this is just off the top of my head stuff that I don't have anything planned rewritten. It's just ideas I've been thinking about for the past couple months and things. I'd love to be part of something. Yeah, me too. I think see that's the thing. It's like I think there's a lot of animators a lot of even people just starting out like anybody in chat who's an animator too who I think would look at this and be like, oh, okay, then maybe because I got started making Dead Star because I looked at Bleach and things that I was watching at the time, being like, well, maybe like I can make something like that and get viewers to watch the way I was watching at the time because I was like hooked to Bleach. I was like obsessed, and I was like binging the episodes. I was like glued to it, downloading the soundtrack, and I was just thinking like this is different than like movies or regular TV. It's like a different uh, kind of experience, and partly because anime has a community, and so yeah. I was thinking maybe that can inspire animators like inspired me when I was a youngin, and it wasn't that long ago. It was like 10, 11 years ago. But yeah, I'm old. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure how it'll work out, but I'll 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 see, if I could go about it in ways that are practical or realistic for me right now, and then I'll get back to you guys. But yeah, I will be hopefully streaming more probably, uh, because I do want to get this episode of Diver out. Probably before. Probably I've been thinking May. I mean, before I was thinking March, but now last couple months because I haven't been had a chance to work on it. I've been thinking May. Um, how's it going? Your boy Knowledge. Uh, great username, but Knowledge sounds like a rapper name. I feel like if somebody is looking for a new rapper name, they should maybe it already exists. I don't know, but like Knowledge sounds like maybe spelled like uh, uh you know differently. I don't know. Maybe not spelled exactly like knowledge is spelled, but like maybe with just an N and like and no W. I don't know, but but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we'll be streaming probably more because I wanna stay consistent with Diver so I can get it out by May so I can finally get this done. To put it in perspective, so most of the Diver episode 3 dialogue from the actors was recorded like in winter of like 2019. So I've been and then I decided to do the special episode last year before I did this, and then this got delayed over and over again. So that's how long I've been working on this one episode. Like I finished writing it in it's like September of 2019 after I did the second episode, and I recorded my lines in like August of 2019 for Zeke. Like that's so when you hear Zeke, pretty much all of his lines here. I re-recorded some stuff after after uh, the special episode came out because there was this new actress who plays Zara, and I re-recorded some stuff for a scene or two, and I don't want to give anything away, but for scenes with Zeke, but for the most part, pretty much everything you hear in this new episode of was recorded like almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, 2019 of summer. So, and also this episode was meant to be part of the first episode. Like, it takes place at a party, and the first episode of Diver, the first scene I ever thought of Diver was between Zeke and Zara, where they're having a fake argument at a party, and so when you see this new episode of Diver, there's a scene in here that was meant to be like the first episode, but everything just got backtracked, and things took longer than I thought, and so yeah. It's a long time coming, but hopefully I can get it done soon, and hopefully the next episodes will not take as long. I promise. There will not be any 2 year episodes. Okay, so yeah, I've spoken my piece, and I appreciate you guys for hearing me out here, and yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. So thanks for watching, and